I'm not going to read a story today. I'm going to tell it. I have some pictures, but we're just going to tell the story. So use your imagination, okay? The story is The Three Little Pigs, Tres Chanchitos, okay? Once upon a time, there was a mama who had three sons, Larry, Moe, and Curly. And the three chanchitos, they didn't always keep their room clean, and they weren't always neat. But Mama said, one day you're going to leave the house because you're too big, and you're not going to live with me forever. You grow up, you go on your own, so start saving your money. Well, Larry saved his money. He was really good about it because he wanted a good house. He wanted to make one out of bricks. And he knew that would take a long time, and he knew it would take a lot of money. So he saved his money. He didn't go out and spend it. And he didn't buy churros and junk. And when his brothers spent money for doing fun things, he didn't do it. Because he was saving to buy a house. Now his other two brothers, they like to have a good time. So they saved some money, but not a whole lot. Finally, the day came when Mama said, okay, boys, adios, you're on your own. So the three boys went out, and they found the place where they were going to build their house. Now, it was Larry, Moe, and Curly, and Larry was the responsible one. Moe went out, and along the way, he saw a farmer selling straw, dried grass, big dry grass. And he thought, well, I can make a house out of that. And so he paid the man for the straw, and he went and he made his house. And he only had a little bit of money left over for food, but that was okay because he had his house and he was happy. Curly had a little bit more money than Moe did, but not much. And he wasn't a hard worker either. And he just went out in the woods and he started cutting down sticks. Cut down sticks, because he didn't have much money at all. And then he built his house out of sticks. Now Larry had to buy the bricks. And Larry had to buy the cement and the wood and all sorts of things for his house. And he started. But he didn't have a house to live in while he was building it. So he just made a little hut where he could keep his things. And he worked on his house day after day after day. And his brothers would come by. Hey, Larry, come with us. We're going to town. Nope, I have to work on my house. I don't have the money. Come on. And the brothers went into town and had a fun time. Hey, Larry, come with us. We're going to Bojangles. Sorry, I don't have the money for Bojangles. I've got to build my house. And they would come time, and they had so much fun. But Larry, he was building his house because he wanted to make sure when the winds came, when the rain came, he had a nice dry house. He wanted a good one. The day finally came where he had his beautiful brick house. And there are the three houses. Let's see. We have the house made of straw, the house made of wood, and there's the brick house there. There's Larry working on his house. Well, one day, a big bad wolf came. And this big bad wolf was really hungry. And he was so hungry he hadn't eaten a long time. But he smelled a pig. Pigs don't smell very pretty. He smelled a pig, and he thought, ooh, I smell pig. Fell in my nose. And he started going to and he came to the house of Mo. Remember Mo lived in the straw house? He knocked on the door. Little pig, let me in. Well, Mo had seen him coming down the road to his room. He said, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. You're not getting in. So the big bad wolf said, huh, and he huffed, and he puffed, and he blew the whole house down because it was only made out of dry grass. It wasn't a very good house. And the little pig saw his little house go, and he ran down the road to his brother Curly's house. Curly, Curly, let me in, Curly. Why? Because the big bad wolf is here, and he just blew my house down. So Curly quick opened the door and let Mo in. Mo goes in, and they shut the door tight. They shut the windows tight. Pretty soon, here comes the big bad wolf. Little pig, let me in. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Well, I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down. So he huffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, and he puffed. And finally the whole house blew down because it was only made out of sticks. Palitos. Palitos do not make a good house. No. Casa de palitos. Malo. Yes, it is bad. And the little pigs went running down the road to the brother Larry's house. Larry, let us in, quick. What's the matter? The big bad wolf's coming. Well, what about your house? He blew it down. Come on in. He went in. They shut the door tight. They shut the windows tight. They even shut the shutters tight. All closed. Now the wolf, the big bad wolf, wasn't running very hard because he was so hungry, but he wanted a pig. He missed two. They got away. So he went to the house. He went to Larry's house. Little pig, let me in. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down. And he huffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, and he puffed. But the house was not made out of hierba. It was not made out of grass. It was not made out of sticks, palitos. It was made out of wood and bricks, and it was not going anywhere from a wolf. He huffed and he puffed until he had nothing left. And he thought, how am I going to get in? He's looking around. How am I going to get in? And then he saw the house. Then he saw the chimenea. He saw the chimenea. He thought, I'll climb down the chimenea. Now, people here don't have chimeneas in their house. Maybe you've seen them on TV. In the United States, we have chimeneas. And a lot of times they come into the house and there's a fireplace underneath. You climb down. Boop, 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 boop. He was going to get in that way because he couldn't get in the windows. He couldn't get in the doors because Larry had made a very strong house. Well, he climbed up on the roof. And the little pigs heard him up there. And they figured out what he was going to do. Well, little pig Larry had been had been cooking his dinner. He was making a big pot of soup because he wanted it to last a long time. He called his brothers. He said, come on, get some water. And they put some wood on the fire so smoke was going up the chimney, hoping that maybe that would keep the wolf out. He was hungry. And the wolf was looking down the chimney, and it was hot. I can do this. Not very smart. If there's smoke, there's a fire below. He was not very smart. I don't think he went to school. He didn't go to Rocosolida. No. So he was there. He was there. And he said, okay, I can do this. And he started climbing down inside the chimney, and then he fell, kaboom, right in that hot water. Woo! And he jumped out of there so fast, and he went boom, broke the door right down, trying to run out the house. And he ran away, and he never came back. See, we had 3 little pigs. One little pig was a very hard worker. When his brothers wanted to go play, he said, no, I have work to do. I'm going to build a house. When his brothers wanted to spend money, they spent it. They didn't care because they wanted to. But not Larry. Larry didn't do that. Why? He wanted a house. He wanted a house. In first grade, we're talking about self-control. Being the teacher and making yourself do things when you don't want to do them. Now, I'm sure Larry did not want to save all his money. I'm sure he wanted to spend it. But what did he do? He said, no, save. When he wanted to spend, no, save. When he wanted to go to Bojangles with his brothers, no, you have work to do. You go do your work. No, you don't have money for that. You are building a house. He learned to say no to himself. He learned to make himself work and do what was right. And so what happened? When the big bad wolf came, he was safe. He had a nice house. When the rains came, he was dry. When the winds blew, he was fine because he had a strong house, because he learned to say no. He learned to say, do what you don't want to do. But his 2 brothers, no, they didn't have self-discipline. They didn't train. And whatever they wanted to do, they did. And so they didn't have money to buy things for a nice house. They didn't take the time to build it. They just put up really fast. But then when trouble came, their house didn't last. And then what happened? They had to live with their brother because they were not responsible. At Rocosolida, we're trying to teach you to be responsible. Do the things that you don't want to do. Remember, we said training. Training is teaching, right? There's instruction, there's practice, and there's control, right? Instruction, this is how you do it. Practice. Do what you don't want to do, even when you don't. And then control. You make yourself do what you don't want to do. And then it'll all be worth the hard work when the job is done.